Imagine feeling so connected to the energy of life that creativity flows along with everything that you need. This is the topic of our conversation today. Welcome to Redefining Success with Emma. It's me. And Iona. Welcome, Iona.
Welcome, Emma.
Oh, so lovely to be here again.
So we're gonna invite you into feeling that energy with us. We've already connected to it before the call, so we're gonna invite you into that, and taking a few moments and just knowing that when we slow down and when we come back into connection with ourselves and each other, magic really does become possible. So let's take a minute, just inviting you to close your eyes and giving yourself permission to slow down. And to begin to notice the breath moving in and out of your body. And just notice that this breath doesn't rush. That this is life happening in the background of our busyness. Really allowing that breath to fill up your body, feeling what it's like to fill up with that breath and release it into the holding of the earth, the chair beneath you. This is you in your skin. And from this place, it's become aware of each other, of our energy in a circle, connecting with each other. A field of hearts and energy bodies. And we invite in the fullness of the energy of life to flow through us. Feel the spaciousness of that. You can imagine that we're all energy, we're atoms, and we're space, vibrating in form. So feel that spaciousness of the field as we're connecting to this body of energy that we are as life. Inviting in our beautiful planet, Earth. Feeling that energy pulsating together. And we're letting this energy know that we're aware of it, that we are part of it, and that we're here to co-create and create beauty and create love and be creative. And we're inviting the fullness of life to participate with our awareness of ourself on this journey. And to invite in all that we need, all the energies that we need in whatever form they take, whether that's people, money, objects, nature, whatever that is, to inspire our creativity, to create more beauty and love in this world. We invite that in. Just breathing that into your heart, into your body. Breathing now with all of life. And then coming back, centering that energy in your heart. And when you're feeling ready, you can open your eyes and return to this space.
Oh, that's lovely.
Hmm.
Oh, it's so amazing, isn't it? Because when we connect with this energy, you can't help but radiate out. It fills you with love and life force that radiates out and kind of shines from us, and then automatically connects us with the world around us, with other people, with animals, with nature, with what we're doing, what we're creating. And
Mm.
I absolutely love that. The flow is present within us, and it for me, it makes me really smile and beam, and then that feels like I'm spreading a smile rather than spreading any worries I might have, or even though we have those, but when we fill with this energy, it enables us to beam out and flow, even when we're facing things, even then when we've got problems, obstacles, queries, things we have to organize, sort out, relate to, stuff we don't really want to face. If we're thinking about success and creativity and business, then there's always going to be obstacles and things coming along. But when we can tune into that space, that heart, that soul, the life force and the love, that flow comes, because it must flow by its nature. Its nature is fluid. Its nature is to flow from one thing to the next. It's never static. And if we're touched by it and we can center it, it it helps for easeful navigation through what might be very tricky things we're facing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really connect to that joy as well, Emma. It's quite incredible when
yeah,
I go into that energy of the circle and come back to myself, which is that dot in the middle of the circle. It is irradiating, and there's no separation as I start from myself and I connect outwards, and it goes outwards, and there's so much joy that comes through connection. And there's such a stark contrast, I feel, between how business and life is conducted today, which is very much in the mind. It's very much in a fear-based mind, which is
yeah,
setting our goals and going from A to B, and it's all on me, and stress and worry and rushing and drive and getting there before someone else does. It's exhausting. Like, even
yeah,
just speaking about it, I'm like, oh, I just want to take a breath. And
yeah.
it's
Me
so
too.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so different. And when I recenter myself in, okay, I'm in my core, I'm in my center, and I can breathe, and I can start with connection to myself, and then connection spreads and radiates out from that point. It comes with so much joy. And I think that's what's
yeah,
missing in the world.
definitely. Yeah,
People can be successful and make a lot of money and achieve their goals, but there's so much joy that's possible that just doesn't come along with that drive.
mm,
And many people are missing that joy because it's through that connection from the core that I think it comes and it radiates. And I know that you and I feel this so deeply.
mm,
This is our core after more than 25 years work each, going deep into ourself.
yeah,
That is, I know what we are called right now to bring to
yeah,
business and to the world is to learn how to connect, and from that place of connection, feeling how abundance flows and is there.
yeah. And then to, rather it being a individual's goals to get from A to B, no matter what, no matter who they push past, no matter who gets kind of screwed over or ignored or kind of ghosted, I want to say, on the way. It's like, because there's just this, at the moment we're in this rat race of this linear model where we start at school and we're on this trajectory and to be as successful as we can no matter what. And we're saying that there is another way to that, which is
Mm-hmm.
the feminine that has been lost through thousands of years of patriarchy, and it's like a deep soul loss in our culture now, that by destroying the feminine, or trying to destroy or suppress and oppress the feminine wisdoms, the knowledge, the feminine ways, the flow, that creative flow, we've we're experiencing acute soul loss from the feminine aspect, and
Mm-hmm.
we're what we're saying now is that it's time to bring that back, and to it's a sacred energy that is an abundant energy. It's like the sacred, it's like the holy grail, that the holy grail that has been searched for thousands of years is actually already here, and everyone's been missing it. It's here it is, and it's full, and it's a full chalice that's abundant. And
Yeah.
we know deep down, because of everything we've been through and explored within ourselves, that there is a different way to shape and form success, and that abundance is already present for everyone. It isn't this linear march to a particular goal. Maybe there will be goals and trajectories, and that's fine, but we're also saying to do this in community, in connection, in deep connection with ourselves, and that automatically brings us in connection with others, with the whole, with universal energy. And let's have that cup at the center where the abundance is there for everyone. Everyone can have that. It's not for one person or another, or any particular person that feels they're entitled to something that others aren't. No, it's there for all of us.
Mm. I love that image of the chalice, because it's from the chalice that it's that full cup that everyone can drink out of. It's
Yeah,
sharing from that well of life, the waters of life.
yeah, it is.
And yeah, from the centered place, it's the circle where everyone's in the circle, everyone's included.
Yeah.
And not only everyone's included, but we are fully connected to ourselves. And so from that fully connected place, we have access to all the energies of life. So what we're
Yeah.
talking about here is a shift in consciousness, because some people say, well, and I know this was definitely the case for me before I shifted into this consciousness. When I was on my spiritual journey, it's like, well, it's the difference between being and doing. And when you're in linear thinking, it's like, well, either I'm being, either I'm, connecting and I'm being, or I'm in action and I'm doing. And there's a split in our psyche. But the new consciousness is shifting to, when you come back to the center and you self-connect, then being and doing are both there together. So you are
That's right.
connecting and you're coming into
Yeah.
that place of slowing down and what we would call being. You're dropping into being and you're feeling your connection to the whole. And then from that place, from that fully connected place to life, because you're connecting to all of life and you're trusting life is there to support you, then everything starts to flow. Then you get beautiful ideas coming in the middle of the night or in your dreams, people coming in through synchronicities, people you're meeting that spark ideas and get you to start doing things, which is exactly what's happened here. Emma and I are
Yes.
just on this journey. It's been sparked by a meeting that I had, and it's going into business, which is so foreign for us because we've been in a deep spiritual journey, and now the spark is taking us into this world of business and asking us to infuse our energy, our wisdom of our spiritual journey into a new field, so that those two fields can make love with each other and make babies, as we were sharing through a post that we both read this week, how ideas can make babies and start to
Yeah.
share that consciousness between each other. So we're really excited about sharing into this field of business and what's possible when you come from the center and ideas flow and you get that out of the box thinking that your mind, your logical mind, cannot come up with on its own. It's only when you drop into this field and you trust life to work with you that things that have never been thought about. That complete originality comes on board, and you're coming up with original ideas, original thinking. It's exciting because it's new and it's fresh, and you don't really know where you're going. It's a journey in the dark. You're
Yeah.
taking a step as it comes up. We didn't know what we were going to be talking about today, but I got a spark at 3 a.m. I woke up with this idea of linear thinking as opposed to circular thinking, and how even in coaching today, it's about going from A to B and how we can get there and how we can move the blocks to that. But there's this thinking, this consciousness goes beyond that. It's not all on getting from A to B. It's coming back to the center, knowing everything is present already. And how can I radiate and tune into that and connect to myself, to others, to the whole, and allow it to support me and to bring me everything that I need in the right moment when I need it.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And it's also that um I think there's been a lot about that spirituality is separate. When Ian was talking about that we've been on this deep spiritual journey for we've each for about 25 years, it doesn't we haven't been sitting on mountaintops and under trees meditating and oming, not to negate that, but what we've been actually doing life. We've been doing life. We've been meeting really, really super challenging experiences that have come our way. With and not and even if we've been scared, we've met it, whatever that is that has come our way. Really deep things that have shaken us to the core, like death and family traumas and obstacles that we've faced in our lives, and all sorts of things between the two of us. And we have what those experiences have done is has meant that we could have curled up and said, wow, this is what life has dished out to us, and what's the point? We could have done that. But in our own way, the two of us have actually faced what we've been going through and decided to go deeper into that, as Ina was saying, and I was saying about the chalice, deeper into that chalice, that infinite flow, that infinite well of the waters of life. And through those, what Thomas More would have described as a dark night of the soul, through those dark nights of the soul, and there have been plenty between us, we have found the gems and the treasures of life once again. And we've gathered them and polished them off and taken them back into our hearts and grown again with all the knowledge of our experiences each time we've had a fall, metaphorical fall, or faced challenges. And then we've kept bringing our attention back to those. So this isn't about, it's not, I think what I'm bringing here is it's not a woo-woo, we're not talking woo-woo, we're talking deep, like excavation work, deep dives into that infinite well, meeting the potency of what's in there within us and bringing it to the lives that we've led. And in doing so, we've discovered this deep, infinite pool of love and life force energy, and that is all connected in oneness, that everything is in, we're all in this great circle of life where it's all one. And in that sense, we can all connect to it. It's not just for a few people. So in terms of success and redefining it, our success is bountiful with what we've done with our lives. And then as we've done that, we've noticed that this is a big missing piece in the world today, in business, in what is defined as success. You know, even things like school sports days, the only person that's successful is the one that comes first. Well, we're saying, let's look at that differently. Let's bring what we've discovered through our processes, and let's bring that to the world and reshape, redefine success so that so that everyone can drink from that cup and not think that they're not entitled or they can't get to the cup. The waters don't flow for them, the energy isn't there for them, because it is, and it's learning how to tap into those skills and to enable it to flow within yourself through deep self connection, and then that will naturally in abundance connect us with each other, with the whole, and then the abundance comes back to us. But it does take
Mm-hmm.
focus and attention. It isn't,
Yeah.
there is a bit of meditation, obviously, but that's not all of it. This is hard work as well, or
Yeah.
work, or focus, or attention, bringing attention to it.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. I think that's right, because the question that's coming up for me is, or that I imagine you guys out there listening to this would be asking, well, how do we get into that state? Because it's
Yeah.
a state of being,
Mm.
it's a state of consciousness, and how do you go from where you are to being in this state of consciousness? And we've already said that it's here all the time, and for me, it's just a matter of shifting how you're thinking and shifting your energy so that you can center in it. But as Emma has said, it does take practicing certain tools
Mm.
and working with those. And key tools that we have developed and have been essential in learning, firstly, is trusting the process,
Yeah, that's
trusting the
vital.
unknown.
Yeah.
So Emma and I met about 15 years ago, and we started doing shamanic journeying together. And
Yeah.
a big question for us at that time, when we would go on these shamanic journeys and receive insights and inner wisdom from these uh, deeper places that we would drop into, would be, well, how can we trust what we're seeing? How can we trust those knowings that are coming to us? Because we were so conditioned to using our logical mind that it was a bit of a leap to get into this bigger pool of intelligence that you tap into in this deeper field, and trusting that it's the archetypal world, it's the world of dreams, it's the world of signs and symbols. And when you start to walk in these territories, you do think, well, how can I trust that? And there is a strange feeling, because it isn't the logical mind. But the more that you just go with it and you practice that, trusting that wisdom and moving forward with what feels good, and it's usually like a knowing that comes to you, or a little jolt in the body. Sometimes I feel it as a little insight. And I often get those now in when I wake up from dreaming or sleeping, and I get these insights, or people that I meet, and I'm staying open to what life is bringing. How can I be curious and open and relaxed to what life is bringing, what life is showing me, and starting to walk with life, to co-create with life, with what life is bringing, and trusting the unfolding moment to moment. So Emma and I don't know where this journey for us is going, but we've been given insights this week on what we should talk about. That's come through, and here we are doing that. So we're taking action. It is a process of taking action, overcoming fears, doing things you might not have done before, getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It does require that, and it
It
does
does.
require this practicing intuition, getting into your body again. So most of us are so disassociated from our bodies
Yeah.
through traumas, and just it's easier to disassociate than to deeply feel. So it's about coming back, learning what it is to become embodied, to come back into your body, to tune into your six senses, to tune into what's your gut saying, what's your heart saying. What are those intuitive knowings that are coming to you? How can you feel them as in the wider field, how they affect you and others around you, and how you want to navigate that in the way that feels good for you? That, like a panther walking in nature, they're moving forward slowly, and like a cat, they're feeling their way, they tuned into everything around them. They're sensory beings, and they're fully
Yeah.
tuned into that, and they're instinctual, and it's that connected place of feeling and being that come together through the use of being willing to go on the journey and learning these tools, and they
Yeah,
grow stronger and develop as you go.
that's right. Yeah. And it's in a way it's a mix, isn't it? It's like trusting the unknown and also practicing and honing in those skills. So when we first started, as I only said, we've known each other for many, many years, and then we both were doing a project, and I said, "Oh, why don't we do some peer support?" And so we said, "Oh yeah, we'll meet every 2 weeks and do peer support." And so that is how this was birthed. And then in that process, I only met someone, and then this idea was seeded to create our own business. And so also it's about being willing to know and trust that the track, things might change on the track. So what we were doing peer support for, we might do those projects individually at some other point, but at the moment we trusted each step of the way, and each step of the way has brought us here. So we're not doing what we originally thought, but actually what's happened through co-creation is something a million times better in many ways, because we neither of us knew that this was going to be happening at all. And so now we've got this wonderful connected, well, this, yeah, we're creating this business from this deep place of connection with each other, and who knows where it's going to lead. We don't know. So there's the seeds that get planted. It's like if you planted 20 daffodils, each daffodil is unique, and so you don't quite know what shape or form your seeds are going to take, and that's okay. They might not look quite what you thought they were at the beginning, but trust. It's about trusting that and still watering them, still feeding them, still making sure they get their sunlight. It's Yeah, it's a combination, isn't it, of the trust and taking the action, which is essentially the deep feminine and the action of the masculine energy.
Absolutely. And I think what's beautiful about this path is that it, because it's co-creating with life, it
Mm.
is so much bigger than anything your logical mind can come up with.
Yeah.
So you might think you're
Yes.
doing something, but you don't really know where it's going.
No.
But you're saying yes, you're showing up, even when you don't know, you
Yeah.
dropping into that place of connection again with source, with that life force, and you listening. A lot of
Yeah.
it is connection through listening,
Yeah, it is.
stillness. It's that being place and being willing to slow down
Mm.
and trust that you can feel life.
Yeah.
And what's coming to me at the moment is I love connecting with the sun, and often I'll have my camera and I'll be pointing it at the sun because it's a beautiful sunrise and it just looks like an ordinary sun.
Mm.
But I know that when I stay with it and I stay with that sun and I start connecting to it as an energy, it starts talking to me and it starts doing magical things in the sky and
Mm.
shape shifting and making rainbows and making just incredible like bursts of light. And as I'm looking at it through my camera, that is, but I capture such magic. And some of the photos that I share and that I capture are, they just almost look magical. It's like, what on earth is that? Where did that come from? But I know it's from taking that extra time to trust that when I stay with it, magic is going to happen. And it always does.
Yeah.
But most people are pointing at their camera at the sun. It's just the sun. They'll get a shot of the sun and they'll leave.
Mm.
And they don't take the time to allow magic to reveal itself.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
believing that it's going to reveal itself and
Yeah.
staying with it. There's
Yeah.
something about, yeah, consistency and staying with
Yeah.
the energy and
That's right.
allowing it to reveal itself
Yeah.
and
Allowing
trusting
that
that it will.
revelation.
Yeah.
And the revelations come, don't they? But they need the space and time and the channel to come through.
Yeah. And if you don't believe that it's going to come through, you'll give it, up to a certain point, and then it will be, oh yeah, it's not happening, and
Mm.
you'll go off and you'll continue living in Muggle world, which is
Yeah.
it's not the world of magic. If you
No.
want the world of magic, you need to allow it the time and space to reveal itself,
Yeah.
and that's like the vision questing and the shamanic journeying, and when you're going out into nature and you're letting it reveal
Yeah.
itself to you,
Yeah.
you're trusting life will show up.
Yeah. It's like if you have a moment, and you could even if even if you feel that you don't have time to take big walks out in nature, you could actually just even be sitting in your car. You've parked your car up. You're about to go and do the shopping. You could take 1 minute, 1 minute in that before you get out to do the shopping, and just sit in stillness and see what
Mm.
arises. And if you sit in stillness, something will arise, whether that is a crow hopping in front of your car, whether that's something like your heart just opens up a little bit because you're looking at the sky, whether you notice something in your car needs some attention, whatever it is, something will be revealed to you. And then
Mm.
the key is then to trust that the universe has revealed something to you. So say you took 1 minute before you go and do the shopping, which everyone can do, and then you sit there and you're looking at the sky, and maybe a cloud drifts past and you see a shape in that, which would ordinarily in mainstream life be completely dismissed. But if you're a child and you're in preschool and you're playing and you look at this and you look at the sky and you say, "Oh, I can see a car in the clouds." Everyone's like, "Wow, there's a car in the cloud. Let me see, let me have a look." And all the kids come together, they all want to see it. They're all excited by it. They're all enthralled by it. Then they might go off and build a car with Lego or draw a car. That the creation and the flow just happens naturally. And then obviously we get older, we get the patterns in, we get repressed, our ideas are pushed down. So imagine if you still, which we all do, we still have that in us. And imagine if that was free again, that part of us was free again. And you're in your car and you look out and you see a shape, you see a flower in the clouds. So you could just take a minute to say, "Oh, I saw a flower in the clouds," and that's it. Or that might bring you some inspiration. You might go home and draw the flower. You might then produce yourself a lovely picture. Your friends might come around and say, "Oh, I love that picture of the flower. Where did you get that from?" You say, "Oh, actually, I painted that from seeing it in a cloud." So this is an example of how that magic works and how it works through us and comes to us, and how that type of stuff has been dismissed so much for centuries now. But actually, that's where all creativity and creation comes from. That beautiful cauldron and well and chalice of life. That trusting, yeah, maybe the cloud isn't showing you anything, but maybe it is. Maybe that is a piece of magic that's been revealed to you, and you can choose then to take action on it. Yeah,
Beautiful, Emma. Thanks. And that also takes me back to our start of our shamanic journeying. I got to the point where I said, does it increase my joy? Does it increase
yeah.
the
Oh, I
quality
love
of the
that.
life that
I
I'm
love that.
living now? And it's yes. So I
Yes.
don't care whether it's real or not real.
Yeah, that's
Seeing
right.
the cloud and imagining it's talking to me, and then I'm inspired and I go off and I create that picture, and then it creates and sparks other things for other people. It's that is the goal. That's the abundance. That is improving our
Yeah,
quality of life
yeah,
now. That is
yeah,
consciousness and free flow. And if we
yeah,
can't be that, then what can we be? Because there's so much joy in that childlike wonder of opening to life and letting it guide us, letting it show us the magic. And then we flow with that magic. And it doesn't matter what it means. It matters that it feels good to me. It matters that I'm creating art. It matters that I'm inspired and life is happening that feels good,
yes,
because there's too much life happening now that doesn't feel good, that
mm,
feels mundane, that feels monotonous, that
yeah,
people saying, what is the point of life? Why am I even here? It's
yeah,
because it's lacking that magic, it's lacking that joy.
mm,
And this is what we're calling you and inviting you back into, is this: come back to the circle of life, join hands
yes,
with us,
yes,
because it's time now. And what I am feeling is wanting to move through us at the moment is this joining up. And the way that Emma and I have joined up, as it feels like two cells that have, through the process of mitosis, have kind of
yeah,
come together and created a bigger field, a bigger circle. And now we are reaching out to you guys, and you guys will feel and resonate with this. And we may connect in real life, we may connect through the web. Who knows how this
you know,
intelligence works?
yeah,
But there's a resonance in the heart, a resonance in our embodiment, in our matter that vibrates. That when you
yeah,
feel energy that's right for you, and you, the fact that you're here and you're listening to this, means that you're in our field. And who knows why that is? It's the
Yeah.
intelligence of life. And we allow it to vibrate. We allow it to join us up with each other in different ways. And you might join up with another group. You might join up in a myriad of ways, but just trusting that life has a plan to co-create through us, to create beauty, to create joy, to create magic, to make this world beautiful, so that we can all be celebrating and living in joy and that magic of co-creation together. And I'm feeling that this is what's wanting to happen, because
Yeah.
we are experiencing it, Emma. We are experiencing
We are.
being on a journey of not knowing and coming together
Yeah.
and allowing life to happen through us.
Yeah.
And I know this is happening. This is happening on a global
Yeah.
scale to many people right now, because we are moving beyond the individual in a fear-based state,
Yeah.
trying to survive, running for that apple on a stick, running for more, trying to fill the hole. And it's just suffering.
It
It's
is.
just keeping us in a feeling of lack, like we never have enough. We never have what we're chasing. We never get there. It's absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's time to change that. It's time to say we don't need to live like that anymore. There's a new consciousness available to us. It's the consciousness to come back into the circle of life, to join up and to allow magic to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. And it's interesting in that sense because there's this new awareness and consciousness, and also it's deeply rooted in our ancestors, isn't it? In our ancestral ways, that our ancestors from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago didn't wouldn't have even been thinking in this way because they were already deeply connected to themselves, to the tribe, to the culture, and to nature. So for them, there was no thinking about how do we get back there because they already were there. And we've so the energies are coming in, the awareness is happening. The feminine energy is definitely rising again, as it absolutely should, because oh my gosh, we've been silenced for 5,000-6,000 years of patriarchy. And then when we go further back, we understand that we know this so deeply in ourselves because it is wired into our DNA. It is, although our DNA has evolved, it's still there. That deep knowing that actually we are supposed to be connected. We are supposed to work together to co-create. We are, I mean, when, like with shamanic healings in indigenous cultures, the shaman would be bought maybe a few, I don't know, chickens or something for the healing or whatever. There was some sort of exchange, but it wasn't separate in a sacred space where you had to have your candles and your crystals and whatever it was. It was just done bang while up there in the middle of the community while everyone else got on with everything and kids were running around and birds were flying everywhere and all sort of cooking was happening. It was part of everyday life. It was a co-creation that everyone was doing what they're bringing their gifts to the community. Everyone was bringing their gifts. So someone would be singing, someone would be creating the food, gathering the food, chopping the food, hunting the food. Someone's doing the medicine work, someone's doing the plant work, and then the whole community thrives. And I think, especially as women and hopefully men as well, are realizing this, that deep in ourselves, that has to be the way that we move forward as a global community, but also starting individually, because obviously we need to wake up to this within ourselves first, and then, as right at the beginning of this this session, when we did the connecting meditation, you could feel that energy flowing through. That's what happens when you start to thrive in community, but you thrive within yourself. That energy reaches out, you connect with other, and then it becomes the whole community. It has to, because the energy wants to flow. It wants to. So how does it express itself within each of us individually? Because we're all bringing our own personalities, our own gifts, our own sense of awareness, of understanding of the world. So then how does this manifest joyfully, abundantly, and bountifully, and touch others so that they're inspired and they become part of the community, and then we begin to thrive again as a whole, rather than this individuation that I only was talking about earlier, where we're just on this conveyor belt to get from A to B. It's
Oh, thank you, Emma. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for reminding us about that indigenous wisdom, because I really feel our ancestors at our back here,
yeah,
that every one of us comes from a line of ancestors, our global
yes,
community, all of those ancestors, going right back to early man, and
yeah,
the journey that we've been on as humanity to get to this point of consciousness. We owe it to that journey. And they all knew, it started from circle, it started from
yeah,
the egg, it started from the egg and how they gathered in circle, in tribe. And we've had to go on this linear journey. We've had to
yeah,
extend in the masculine energy as far as our minds can take us, to realize that this is as far as the mind can go. And now it can, the logical mind can only take us so far because it's limited.
mm,
So it's time for a remembering
yeah,
and a coming back now into, to bring that masculine back into the feminine, to bring that union back, to come back
yeah,
into circle and remember this, that life radiates out from the connection to self, and then
yeah,
connection to all of life. And the beauty of that is that nature isn't forgotten. Not one single thing is forgotten, because a
that's right,
circle embodies and includes everything. And the reason that nature is in such a state right now is because of this linear way of thinking, and it can no longer permit that trajectory. It is time now to go on that full circle back to ourself, back to our core, back to our beginning, back
yeah,
to our root of our source, and
yeah,
remember ourselves as tribe, as community, as nature, as earth.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that's what we're doing, and we
mm,
we we're bridging into the world of business, the world of leaders, and inviting you to come back into the circle of life.
yeah. That is what we're doing. So imagine this kind of energy flow in a board meeting, in a business, corporate,
Mm.
or any sort of business. Imagine if we're in that meeting, bringing this energy flow to that, and it might be that there'll be some egos that take a bit of a like, oh, what was that? Oh, but actually beneath that, the flow is in all of us, and that is, as Iona said, it's the bridge. That's the bridge. We're building that bridge right now. And this is what we're bringing to a world that has become, I mean, in my mind, I see it as very grey. I see it as, so the images that I get are very grey, and the alleys between, or the pathways, are very narrow and directional. And like, if you, I don't know if any of you out there ever had those amazing books years ago where you put water, you painted with water, and then all the colours would come. So you didn't use paints, but you just used water. So the images were grey, and then you got your water and your paintbrush and you splashed it on, and then they would all come into colour. So that's what it feels like to me, that we're bringing this painterly kind of approach, which is full of the unknown. You don't know what colours you're going to get. So if we splashed our waters, the flow of the cup of life, into this grey industrial imagery, what is going to show up? What colours are going, what vibrancy, what life is going to be created, what plants are going to grow, what ideas are going to pop in as if from nowhere, what heart expansion is going to take place. That really excites me, and I think that has been seriously lacking for so long, and it's time to come back into that circle and bring the colors back to our
Beautiful.
life, back to business, and back to success.
Yeah, beautiful. So it's an exciting time. It's
Yeah,
thinking out the box. It's everything you want. It's right here.
yeah,
And Emma and I are going to be doing workshops. We're going to be doing retreats in
yes,
beautiful places, because we are standing in the center of the circle, and we're holding point for this circle of life, and that deep connection, and that knowing that prosperity, everything that we want, comes through
Yeah.
connection. It comes through
Yeah.
connection to ourselves, to each other, and ultimately to the whole. And let's
Yes.
come back. Let's come back to ourselves and rebuild that.
Yes.
So on that note,
On that
we
note.
are going to close today.
Yes.
Emma is going to do that for us, just inviting us to close down the circle together. But remember that as we leave, as we go out today, that we carry this within us. And if
Yeah.
you want to stay connected to this journey that we're on, please like our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. It's called
Yes.
Redefining Success with Emma and Iona, newly set up. And we've also got a Facebook page with the same name, Redefining Success. So please connect with us there and be with
Yeah.
us on this journey, and let's transform
Mm.
consciousness on this planet. Let's walk the beauty way together. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening today.
Thank you for listening. And also comment below as well with or any ideas if there's topics you'd like us to talk about in this, then we'd be really happy to explore those. And if you are a business person, we will invite you to come along to have a chat with us, because we are open to your ideas. We want to know more deeply what's going on, where your head and your hearts are at. If you want to come and have a chat with us on this YouTube channel, then get in touch and we will, we can have a chat and see if that, how that is, because we're welcoming, we want to open this up as wide as we can, and we're welcoming all to join us in that circle, in our circle, in your circle, in the global whole. Okay, so we're going to take some time now to close this particular circle. So close your eyes and take a lovely, lovely long deep breath. And imagine that breath can find its way to your heart center. And as it does, your whole body relaxes. Your whole body feels a little bit heavier, and you can feel the earth supporting you. And you can just let go a little bit more with your next breath. And as you breathe, take a moment to imagine that sacred chalice in the center of the circle, and that it's abundantly flowing with the waters of life. There is no end, it's an infinite flow. And imagine now that you can walk up to that chalice and that flow, and you can scoop your hands into the waters and drink the waters from that beautiful infinite flow. And as you drink the waters, you feel them flowing through your body, as if they can touch every cell and light them up with the beautiful sparkles. The way that light sparkles on the water, you feel that flowing through your body. From your head to your toes to your fingertips, you scoop some more. It feels so cleansing, so refreshing, so revitalizing. And let the water begin to flow freely through you. Notice how that feels. Notice if it awakens any part of your body that you weren't aware of before. And take another scoop and let the waters fill up your heart. so that your heart becomes a sacred chalice full of these beautiful, bountiful waters of life, the infinite flow within you. And take a moment to breathe into that sacred well within. Notice what it's like to be full of this abundance, of this life force, of the energy of life that enables your creativity to flow with everything that you need. Everything that you need is here already. Prosperity in connection. Abundance within. Connecting to yourself, to each other, and to the whole. And take a deep breath into this beautiful energy, knowing it's with you infinitely, in its infinite flow. And then very gently and in your own time, you can open your eyes and come back into the circle of life, refreshed and revitalized and full of the flow of the waters of life.